Hello, everyone, and welcome back or welcome to the Introspective Diaries. I am Nana Hasia, and if you are new here, this channel is all about faith, introspection, spirituality, and becoming our higher selves. So, this video is titled Why Spiritually Gifted Women Are Subject to Projections. So, if you are a spiritually gifted woman, meaning that, first of all, I think that all women are spiritually gifted, all women who are connected to their intuition are spiritually gifted. But alongside that, if you're a woman who knows that they've been endowed with greater spiritual abilities, whether that's healing abilities, whether that's the ability to see more than the average eye can see, and what have you, you should understand that your life goes through various different cycles and different stages. And these different stages and cycles are here to initiate you into the woman that you've always meant to become. And part of this journey is what some people might call the humiliation ritual, or what people might see as, the era that people try to put you down, times where people, friends, people you've been in romantic relationships with, familial relationships with, have tried to put you down or have tried to sabotage you in some way, shape, or form. And usually this is done through projections, right? Usually this is done through people trying to project certain ideas, beliefs, thoughts onto you to disconnect you from your own inner knowing, to disconnect you from your own intuition, your own beliefs that you have about yourself, right? And this is because when you're a spiritually gifted woman and you allow people to rob you of your intuition, or you allow people to project things onto you, or rather you accept these projections, you will slowly begin to wither out of your God-given identity and assume an identity that oftentimes the enemy wants you to have, right? Because I always say that when you are not operating in your God-given identity as a spiritually gifted woman, it is so easy for the enemy to try to ruin your life in some kind of way, or for you to even self-sabotage and ruin your life in a certain in a certain kind of way that is misaligned with the plans that God has for you, right? And this is all to, like I said, distort your reality, to distort your perception, to distort your own beliefs about who you are. Okay, so some of you may have been very confident people when you were younger, but certain events or certain things might have happened, or certain people might have come into your life that have tried to break that down. Some of you might have, special abilities and talents to do certain things, but some people might have tricked you out of those things, trying to disconnect you from your own abilities and your own power, right? Because ultimately, projections serve to identity swap you, right? And a classic example of this is bullying. Okay, so I'm someone who experienced bullying, excuse me, when I was at school, and oftentimes the people who bullied me were the same people who either envied me or wanted something. They kind of wanted, they were obsessed with me and wanted something from me, right? Like, the people who bullied me were the people who were constantly trying to come around me and eventually be my friend, or eventually, want to be in some kind of relationship with me, even though that, they clearly did not have my best interests at heart. And it's because people who are sent by the enemy, or people who are just envious people, are obsessed with you, but at the same time they hate you, right? They hate to love you, because when you're a spiritually gifted woman, you have to understand that you are naturally a talented being. You effortlessly do things, and this is something that shocks a lot of people, because to them it's like, well, how is it that she's naturally just good at this? How is it that she naturally knows what to say? Or how is it that she naturally has this ability to captivate people? And this is not something that you try to do, and perhaps this is something that you might not even notice about yourself, but people always notice it first. One thing that I always say to women is Excuse me. One thing I always say to women, but especially spiritually gifted women, is I don't want to say the downsides of this, but when you are spiritually gifted, you were born that way, and nothing can take that away, right? But when you were born this way, other people notice, other people can tell, even when you can't. Okay, that's the thing. It's a bit of a paradox, right? Other people can tell that there is something different about you. Other people can tell that there is something unique about you, but sometimes you're blind to the kind of person or the kind of being or the kind of entity that you are, because God is trying to allow you to get to a certain stage before he reveals your identity to you. Excuse me, I'm still recovering from a cough. So, like I was saying, God is usually trying to wait until a certain time before he reveals your God given identity to you, but he will always reveal this in snippets, right? Because, like I said, if you are someone who has been naturally good at things, like you have certain talents and abilities that shock people, like I've always been a very good speaker and a very good writer, okay? So, even when I was at school, people, like teachers, were always like, wow, like you have such great apologies, you have great such a writing abilities, you should take this seriously or you should look into this. And I was just like, oh, like I just thought I wrote normally, like I like to write. um I didn't think it was anything special. I've always been quite good at speaking. I've always been quite good at, like things to do with captivating audiences. And as well as that, I've just always kind of had a natural ability to magnetize certain things to me, and these were things that I took for granted, or things that I didn't notice. So even during times where I was trying to dim my light and trying to make myself small, other people noticed this about me, and other people would try to um prove themselves to me, which is so strange, because I never really thought about these people. Like they were not in my daily thoughts, or they were not like in my mind. But these were people who tried to prove themselves to me. They'll try to make it seem like they were better than me in some way, shape, or form. And I just did not care. I was like, I don't know you. I'm sorry. Okay. And this is something that reoccurs throughout your life with different people who might try to put you down, who might try to disconnect you from your own inner knowing and your own intuition to distort your reality so you act out of character. Now, the reason why this is so important, like I said, is that there are so many women out here who are operating in an identity that is not theirs. They're operating in projections that they have internalized because they didn't know better. Like this is the kind of knowledge that, you know, if you haven't been taught, or if you haven't really kind of like use your own intuition to decode, or have been given the wisdom by God to really understand, that you end up taking on so many identities and so many projections, and you end up trying to prove yourself to others. And this is where things can start to go, pear-shaped. So there are so many women out here who are some of the greatest people to be on this planet, who think that they're not good enough, who are around bad friends, bad company, who are just beating themselves down every single day because of what other people have said and done. And it's part of a truly, spiritual experience to undo these projections one by one, brick by brick, and then walk into and embrace and integrate your God-given identity. It's a very deep experience, and it's something that like if you're someone who wants to do this and you don't know where to start, be patient with yourself, because like I said, it's a very, very deep spiritual experience, is what I can say to you. And always remember that people will not be trying to put you down actively if they did not know that there was something great about you. You don't put someone down who you already don't think is a little bit better than you, or who you don't admire in some way, shape, or form. Okay, and I know that when we say these things, you have to understand them, you have to internalize these things to evolve from them. So if you are someone who has been through this, if you're a spiritually gifted woman or just any woman who has encountered this, unfortunately, and you know that, or part of you knows that you've taken on identities that are not yours, and you know that there is more to you than these things, and you'd like to work with me, have a look in the description box below and you can book a session with me. And until then, I wish you all peace, love, and blessings.